lone Railrider here. I'm here today at the Glen Wavery Model Train Exhibition located at the Brandon Park Community Centre in Glen Waverly. Here is the 43rd annual exhibition of the Glen Wavery Club, and there is a lot of exhibitions, a lot of model trains, and a lot of fantastic people who have spent years into building these wonderful exhibitions. So without further ado, let's get started. The Glen Wavery Club, whilst not always having the biggest of locations to hold exhibition at, manages to always pull off a wonderful day out for all, with layouts of all sizes depicting locations from every corner of the globe, a U-drive for the kids where they can race locomotives against each other, second-hand sales, and much more. I can still remember the days when myself and my grandfather John would go every year to the expo hoping to see what new layouts and locomotives would be on display each year. I can still recall the few times I had the lucky privilege to go with him to the club's home base in Dandenong, where the club still meets to this day regularly for meetings and run days. I'm telling you all this because the Glen Wavery Club has deep roots into my family's blood through my grandfather. John had been a long-time member of the Glen Wavery Club, going almost as far back as the club's existence itself, and although he resigned from the club in the early 2000s, he's always made an effort to go to the annual exhibitions each year with his young, enthusiastic grandson in tow. And even though John has since left this world, I always make an effort to attend the club's exhibition each year in his honour, carrying on the yearly tradition. But that's enough about my involvement with the club. Let's get back to the fun bit, shall we? Our first layout for today is Chadderton, a regular for the Wavery Model Railway Club in terms of appearing at their yearly exhibitions. It depicts a rural junction station on the Great Western Railway, the GWR, over in the UK. A fictional location to the southwest of Birmingham, and the remains of a former connection to the London, Midland and Scottish Railway, the LMS, are still to be seen. Set between the 1940s to 1950s period, transitioning from GWR and LMS joint running powers on British Rail, BR's Western region following nationalisation of Britain's Big Four railways back at the start of 1948. Capturing the essence of Britain's countryside at its finest, Chadderton brings out some truly remarkable arts of craftsmanship with details at every corner. There is always some sort of activity or scene occurring no matter where you look, constantly keeping eyes open at the ongoing scenes. Not to mention the mix of consists and locomotives keeping the layout accurate to the time period. The next three layouts, freelanced and masterfully crafted by Daniel Thompson, Flusburg, Mosquito Hill and Blowfly Bend. The first two of Daniel's layouts run on N-scale track, whilst the latter runs on ON30. Set in the German hills, the name Flusburg translates to River Castle. The railway line swerves and curves its way through the hills, following the river gorge that leads to the castle towering high above. Mosquito Hill dives deep into a wild and thriving pine forest that serves a logging railway in the hills. A cabin just short of the railway houses locals who are constantly alert of the animals such as black bears scouting the area, and breathtaking heights that the railway has built itself around to trek through the forest floor. Blowfly Bend, on the other hand, tries to take a more calmer yet casual Australian bush setting, with a butcher store on the corner to passing travellers or workers of the narrow gauge railway, along with a watering hole from which the bush critters drink. Paradise Valley, constructed by the Puffing Billy Railway Modellers Group, showcases a wonderful Australian bush setting, where the actual station, once Paradise Valley, now Clematis Station, is an accurate representation of the Puffing Billy line from Upper Ferntree Gully all the way to Gembrook in the Dandenong Ranges. Set in the 1950s and running on ON30 track, the train makes its way up the line, passing through heavily forest areas and through small townships, including the very popular Paradise Valley Hotel, which can be found in Clematis. Everything on the layout is crafted to a very high standard, with each detail, plant and building hand-built by the members. Mystic and Oblivion takes out the spot as the largest exhibition of that weekend, showcasing the grand Midwestern mountains of the USA. An N-scale layout depicting somewhere around South Dakota with lengthy, heavy-hauled trains cruising by. Another layout also on display and owned by the Waverly Model Railway Club, where members had only just recently put the layout through a complete revamp since its first completion back in 2008. The lowest level track is the main line, with a branch interchange track that climbs the hills up to the top level running on a single track. The upper track can be operated as a loop if required, but most of the longer trains are kept running on the main. A vast variety of current and modern American trains can be seen passing through. Double-stack containers, coal trains, passenger, and heritage, with a lovely mix of steam and diesel showcasing the mighty power that the US had with their fleet of locomotives. Billabong Flat is yet another freelanced N-scale layout, presented as a terminus station at the tail end of a branch line loosely based in country Victoria. Any train that arrives at the platform has to then run around and perform some shunting duties before being able to depart in the opposite direction. The station yard is also accompanied by a small locomotive depot where the engines can go for rest or maintenance. Hollow Glen is a fictitious HO scale layout loosely based in the UK and set around in an old English castle. Unlike a lot of other layouts, this one is set at a lower height from the ground to be more accessible for the kids and those in wheelchairs to enjoy a wonderfully crafted layout. Hollow Glen also holds a large variety of activities occurring at once, challenging the audience to find certain things like Where's Wally, the married couple, the railway photographers, and much more. Moving away from the railway scene to something slightly different, Maher's models show off a wonderfully Melbourne-based display of the Melbourne's tram network, along with its large fleet of trams. Maher's design and 3D print less common models that are not available on the market. Their feature product is Prince's Bridge, which looks almost an exact copy of the real bridge outside Flinders Street Station. Moving on to yet another wonderfully crafted Australian layout is the Healesville branch line, designed around the Yarra Valley town of Healesville in eastern Victoria. In an era set between the 1950s to the 1980s, the HO layout depicts railway operations between Healesville and Lilydale, with a large display of track coming out of Healesville station and crossing over the many embankments and trestle bridges. Trains going away from the station are fed into an automatic loop staging yard, where upon reaching the end of the yard, they're now facing the other direction to come back to Healesville. The layout is constantly being developed with scenery and new buildings, and whilst the layout isn't fully complete in terms of scenery, it already looks amazingly detailed as is. Definitely one of the many layouts to keep an eye on for future exhibitions. And with that, this concludes today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching the exhibition video, and also to those who enjoyed themselves at the exhibition. I know I certainly had a blast, and I can't wait to see what will be on display next year. What was your favourite part of the exhibition? What would you like to see next time? Voice your thoughts in the comments. And with that, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.